cooking like 100 years ago. You can see this in the museum, or it is like my home. This is my day-for-day routine because I put my electricity oven outside end of the summer. I put it in the trash, it was a very old one. And since then I cook only with this here. This is my kitchen oven. And now in crisis times, I'm very glad to have something like this. Welcome back, my name is Vanessa from Wild Woman Bushcraft. I heat up my house only with wood and wood stoves. Over the years I had collected a lot of knowledge about heating with wood, and I know that some of you are actually thinking about having a wood stove in their homes because the energy costs are so high. So in this video you can just look over my shoulder because I'm today in my kitchen and preparing an pig meat in the oven. It is delicious. We call it Schweinsbraten, in Bavarian Schweinsbraten. Maybe you know it from the Oktoberfest. It is a typical Bavarian food. And you can look over my shoulder, and I want to talk with you about heating with wood, what you had to know, how it works, and something like this. So enough talking, we have a lot of time between the meat projects. So only once at first. My kitchen is very old, the last renovation was in the 80s, so far away. I want to renovate it last year, but I had a grandmother at home. She was very ill, I had to take care of her. She was in the wheelchair, and the room is the way through the door from the house, so it was not possible to make a renovation here with her. And then she was in the daycare and it was possibility to make this purchase, and then I fell ill last year. So there was not enough money, but I don't want to be negative. I have everything that I need, and today you can just look how I do it in the kitchen. The oven is cold. I had to start the fire at first. It is the Nordica brand, which is a very expensive oven. Why you should buy an expensive oven, I want to tell you later. So this was in a cell room before, so people can see it and touch it. And I've got this oven to a very great price. It is the same as making a campfire, at first small wood and then bigger and bigger. When you start a fire, it is very important that you have the air system complete open. That starts the fire very quickly. The oven part is cold, but this will change very quickly. Some people think heating with a wood stove is very uncomfortable and you always had to stay home, but there are not only the bad sides. So one example, when I come home on a cold winter day, the house is cold, the ovens are out, I start the oven and in 1 hour the rooms are complete warm. I had to change many ovens here in the house over the past years. So there are many cheap ones, like the construction market ovens. You can buy ovens here in the construction markets and they cost about 300 till 400 euros. But I had to change the ovens because they are not good quality. Of course, I have also a lot not so expensive ovens in the house. I have several of the wood stoves, but this here is now a very expensive one. But it is better if you buy once an expensive oven and have it for many years than buy 3 or 4 times on cheap oven like I did in the past, and then you have it to change and change. I'm pretty sure that this oven stays for the next generation here in the house. It is the complete quality, the handlings of the different parts, and then there is inside, I'm not sure if the English one is also chamotte, so these are the stones. There are stone planes inside, and they are saving the heat, so when the fire is out, they are giving up the heat over several hours in the room because they are saving the heat inside. So these are many examples why you should buy once an expensive oven, then 3 times a cheap one. This oven cost about 3,000 euro, but I've got them a little bit cheaper because it was in the oven store, and maybe you can check out if there is also something like this available in your area. I cannot start cooking at the beginning of making the fire because everything is cold, the plate is cold, and also the baking area is cold, so I had to wait about 1 hour, of course feeding the fire every time, and in this time I start making the meat. I want to have the skin very crunchy later, and for this I had to make scratches here in the skin part. For the optimal taste, I have here some spices. I made them before and I put it now all over the meat. Normally it would be better to make this process with the spice hours before it comes into the pot, because then the spices are combined with the meat and it tastes much better. And normally I would put the spices on and let the meat covered stand here in the room for 2-3 hours when it is not so hot, because then the spices are perfect inside of the meat. The smokes goes here through this part and then into this and outside in the air, and because of this it is coming hot. It's becoming hot here inside, but the smoke isn't in this area, it is here on top. And with this here I can bring the heat in the baking area or at this cooking plate. When the oven is on fire, I have always warm or hot water. So this here is only for coming into the air, because when you have the oven on, the air gets very dry and maybe you've got a cough because of this. So with this I put the water again in the air. This here is for making the dish. When I have only a little bit dish, I don't use the dishwasher. I use this hot water, and this here is my tea water. So I have always hot water when I need it. When the heating plate is hot enough, I had to put the meat in a pan and cook it for a short time very hot, that the outer part is closed. Otherwise it would get dry very fast. And I would use this big Petromax pan here. As you can see, I have a little bit Petromax stick, but I love each of them and I also need all of them yeah, every day I cook something else, and then I need another size or someone from there, and yeah, you need it. I really love these products, and I've put you the links in the video description. The fat is building streets in the pan, so you can see there are these lines, and this means that the fat is hot enough. Now I've got the meat inside, but not peeking too deep inside, because then the liquid will come outside and the meat will be dry. I put the meat from each side in the pan, and then it is going into the Dutch. We have to eat to the meat knödel. This is a Bavarian typical food, and an oven vegetable. So these are Bavarian knödel. I've made them early at the day, and later I just had to put them into hot water. Then they stay warm and be ready soon. I use for my oven vegetables everything which is actually on the field in my area. These are carrots, zucchini, pimientos and broccoli. So I just cut them into bigger pieces, cover them with oil, get some spices on top, and then I put it in the oven. For the meat cream I need to have some roasted vegetables, and I make this before the meat is ready, and I need now much heat in a short time, so I open the oven at this part. The meat is ready for the oven, but the vegetable is not. I want to have the roasty taste at the vegetables, so I had to wait a few minutes. When the vegetable is ready, I put the meat and the vegetables together, put a little bit of spiced water on top, and then it is going inside of the oven. So back to the oven and heating with wood. So which kind of wood I am using? This is different. Of course, I use what I can get. I was the last years always happy that I have the heating alternative with the wood stove, because this was the cheapest possibility to heat up the house. But this year, like everything else, the prices are going so high, also the wood prices. So I'm going in the wood and collect their wood from the ground, which is legally here in Germany if you have the okay from the forest owner. And this is the cheapest possibility to collect wood. And then it is important to know that there are two different sides of wood. There is softwood and hardwood. Softwood is willow tree, spruce tree, something like this, and hardwood is the beech tree and the oak, and this will burn for a very long time. The softwood will burn very fast. It is great for the beginning to start the fire, but it is soon complete burn away. And the hardwood is harder to start. It is harder to bring it to burn, but it burns much longer than the softwood. So I always choose a mix of them both. Heating with wood has its good parts, but also the negative parts. The negative part is that you always have dirt. Dirt at the ground from the wood and dirt in the air, because when you open the door there will always come some smoke out, and you have smallest particles into the air which you breathe in. Because of this I have such an air cleaner beside of the oven, and this cleaner bring all the particles out of the air. And when you clean not the ground very short time after it is getting dirt, you have it in the whole house. And of course you always had to work before you have it warm. When it is outside in the winter months, it has minus 50 degrees outside, it is freezing. You had to go out, stand out up in the morning, everything is cold in the house, and you have at first start on fire. This is always very uncomfortable, but when the fire is burning, the rooms heat up very fast. The vegetables are ready now. I have the roasty taste on them, which I really love. Now I've put the meat on top, give a little bit spicy water on top, only a little bit, and then it is going into the oven. I have around 220 degrees, which is perfect for my meat. The meat is in the oven now. I had to wait for 1.5 hours, but between this time I cannot lay lazy at the couch. I had to make the oven vegetables and the knödel water. I love it when I have a salad on top, and today we have only leaf salad. Was machst du mit der Gabel? Der Salat ist noch nicht fertig. Aika is also always in the kitchen when I cook, because she's always looking if suddenly fall maybe a small piece of meat to the ground. Gell, Aika? Ein Gutti, oder? Ein Happy. Aber es ist hier ein Salat. It's only salad. Hm? Nein? Noch nicht. Actually, many people are going into the woods and collect wood there from the ground to heat their homes. Sometimes it is possible to make this legal in Germany, but very important is that you cannot burn wood in your home oven when it is too wet. So you had to look if the wood is wet enough. Normally you have the wood at a dry place for 1 or 2 years and then it is ready to heat. Otherwise there will be some covers here in the upper part which can burn. In Bavarian, it is the rule to have between cooking and while you are eating a great beer. Cheers! In a half hour will the meat be ready. When the fire burns well, I had to regulate here the air blowing because otherwise I would heat outside of the house and not in the house, because the fire would burn, the wood would burn away too fast. It is finished very soon. The water is there for boiling, the vegetables are soon ready, so only a few minutes. Something like this complete filled is enough wood for 1 day heating, so about 16-18 hours low heating. The oven vegetables are ready now. The knödel are also ready soon, because when they swim up, they are ready. Jetzt ist es soweit. It's ready. It is ready! I had to stop filming because I'm very hungry now and I want to eat. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want, write it in the comments if you also heat with wood stoves, or if you think about it or not. Please write it in the comments if you want. And if you are not a subscriber yet, feel free to click subscribe and activate the bell to don't miss any video in the future. So thank you for watching, and we see us in the next video. Bye bye! Ciao!